Go, 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 let's get it. I'm a trapping fanatic, that shit automatic, so I cannot turn it on or off. Bitches all on my dick, then she hop on my dick, I'm like, why you keep hopping on and off? Your bitch all on my dick, she be doing the most, I tell her, little bitch, she so extra. And my gun up on me, but not run up on me, niggas, they wanna fight, they some wrestlers.
Team Z does study their next opponents, as the Wanima twins are their lead scorers. So, if they manage to stop them, then they'll definitely have a chance to win. During this team-like meeting, Kuon comes in late, but there's still no sign of Isagi at all. This is where we see him on a pitch, practicing his own dribble moves. He messed up, and then leaned over the ball. Almost. Just a little bit more. That's all I need. A couple more days would go by, as now the match between these two teams is finally here. The Wanima twins dribble forward, using their chemistry and passes to break down the defense of Team Z. They get through the midfield with no trouble at all before one of them tries to get a pass. Isagi appears, stealing the ball. What the? Where did he come from? Isagi in his mind states that it's working, as now he needs to divert the attention away from him, so that he could vanish once again. He sends the ball up to Bachira in the center, who traps it with ease. Good pass, Isagi. However, Bachira is again surrounded by multiple defenders. All of you are in my way. I don't want to pass just yet. Bachira begins to dribble and then does a chop feint around the defenders. This causes more and more attention to be forced upon him. Kuon actually runs by and states that he's open. This is when Bachira lifts the ball over his head and then gets it towards him. Kuon gets ready to finish an open shot, but the ball is stolen by Isagi. Damn it, when did he get there? Wait, no, why is he stealing from me? I'm on his team. Isagi shoots his ignite shot, scoring the first goal of this match. Kuon begins to argue that that was his shot, but Isagi shrugs it off. You don't fool anyone, not one bit. Kuon then looks to Team Z and notices that they're all glaring at him. This causes him to laugh at the realization that he's been found out. We get a short flashback here, as after one of Isagi's training sessions, he saw Kuon meeting with the Wanima twins and discussing a plan for their victory. This is when Isagi returned to the waiting room, where Team Z was planning. At first they didn't believe him, and actually questioned him, but he said he didn't care at all. Either way, I'm going to pass this selection and move on to the next. This was where the flashback would end, and Kuon joins Team W to play against his own team. Isagi looks back at Team Z, stating that they're going to win anyway. The kickoff starts, and Team Z is somewhat overwhelmed by their numbers. Luckily, Gagamaru and Yoichi are able to hold the attack and send the ball forward into open space. There was no one there, as this is when Chigiri would awaken. He remembers the talks he had with Isagi about how he needs to become even better than he is now. So, for Chigiri to thrive in Blue Lock, he can't hold anything back anymore. Chigiri gets the ball and dashes forward at even a greater top speed than anyone on the field. He then looks up, as he was on the left side of the field, to see even more open space. As he cuts in and quickly goes for the shot, the keeper actually blocks it here, and the ball lands into more open space on the other side. Isagi swings his leg for the ball, but the Wanima twins would smile. Not so fast. Kuon then appears in the way of Isagi, who would smirk, faking a shot and spinning around him. You're too predictable. Isagi dashes forward towards the goal with defenders beginning to surround him. He protects the ball well with his dribbling and his body while smiling. Show me that shot, just one more time. He rolls the ball with a heel pass behind him. As we see, he created a play, as this was an overlapping attack, as Chigiri was now behind Isagi and he slams his foot into the ball, scoring their second goal. Now, his resolve as a striker had been solidified. Isagi smirks, looking down at Kuon. Your skills are far under my own. Maybe instead of using others, you learn how to stop being worthless. Kuon's whole plan is then shattered as the Wanima twins begin kicking him while he's on the ground. Isagi ignores this while thinking about the last play. I had to sacrifice one of my own goals for someone else to evolve. Good. Hopefully he can be useful to me in the next matches as well. That speed was insane, but it lacked the ball control that I have, as there's no way he can pull off dribble moves at that speed. Wait a minute. If I'm able to increase my own speed, then I'll be the one to do it myself. Team W uses Kuon to stop some of the players from Team Z, but with Isagi and a now awakened Chigiri on the field, they couldn't be stopped. The match itself is short-lived and ends with the victory of Team Z, with Isagi racking up 3 more goals and Chigiri with one of them, and surprisingly Bachira had one as well. Seeing Isagi dribble only adds fuel to Bachira's own style, and he scores on his own. After this match, Team Z finds Kuon talking to the players of Team V, which angers them, but Isagi isn't in there with them, so he doesn't actually meet Nagi, Ryo, or Zantetsu. Instead here, we see him lifting weights to further improve his body before going on the pitch to practice alone once again. In the camera room, Ego was watching over everything in the facility, but was very focused on one screen. You're a strange one, Yoichi Isagi. From the bottom rank of this facility to now the top rank in Team Z. In just a short period of time, you've overcome many challenges. Each time I see your skills are redefined by something new that you've discovered in the football world. If I'm being honest, you're embodying the will of a true egoist and striker. There are 3 days before the final match of the first selection would happen, but Team Z has already passed since they won so many already. However, Isagi still wanted to win and score even if his team didn't. So while they relaxed and focused more on strategy and light training, Isagi began training hard, as he didn't care about the defense and trying to stop his opponents. Kuon is actually the one to interrupt his training session, asking why he didn't work on strategy as well. Isagi quickly stops dribbling and looks back to him. What's the point? Why would I want to stop them from scoring? Kuon is then confused. So that we win? Yeah, that might work. But what if we can't stop them? Then there's only one option. I'll just have to outscore them. In this moment, Kuon realized what Isagi truly was, as his evolution in Blue Lock was extraordinary, but now he could truly understand it. He watches Isagi dribble around cones with even greater speed than before that he used against him, as this time he switches to his left foot, smashing a goal. Kuon then leaves the room knowing there was no point for him to even be there. Isagi then continues his own training for the last couple of days, as then their final match would arrive. Team Z steps back onto the pitch with confidence in their game plan in order to stop the 3 dominant players from Team V. Nagi has the ball in the center of the pitch and passes it back to Ryo. Go get 5 goals, Nagi. I don't feel like it. Ryo then flicks the ball over the heads of Bachira and Kunigami, but Kunigami is able to run back and guard Nagi. He presses his body to throw off his balance, only for Nagi to perform an in-air trap. Nagi here. Zantetsu is seen running in space near Nagi, who kicks the ball to him with his heel, as Zantetsu would quickly run by, scoring the first goal of this match, and Team Z is amazed by the 3 of them. Just that quickly, as these guys might be their first real challenge. Isagi stood with his hand on his chin, thinking of the last play. It was impressive, but he's also thinking about their abilities. Ryo's passing is beneath his own, so that doesn't faze him. It's what came after that pass. The trapping of Nagi, and then the burst of Zantetsu's speed. His quick cut inside of the box, and then the aim of his shot. He had Yoichi in front of him, which also blocked his vision, but then he curled it into the corner. Isagi was analyzing all of this when Bachira placed his arms around him. What's the plan, genius? Score. That's simple. You up for another power play? Bachira becomes excited and moves to the center of the field, as he gives the ball to Kunigami, who goes forward, and then passes it back to him. Bachira dribbles right through Ryo, who calls his moves impressive. This is when Chigiri gets the ball on the left, running down the sidelines, as Zantetsu begins contesting him with his own speed. As this is when he loses the ball, and they begin to counterattack. The defenders on Team Z then notice that Nagi was already on their side, as Zantetsu gives a pass to Ryo, however it's intercepted by no one other than Isagi. I can't allow you to give the ball back to him. Bachira begins to see the monster then surround Isagi as he flicks the ball over the heads of his defenders and traps it with the outside of his foot. Isagi then thinks to himself while dribbling, a style that works perfectly for me, quick and efficient moves, added to my own style and flow of dribbling. Ryo begins to contest Isagi once again as he goes for the shot, but Isagi performs a quick turn, This not only forced the ball around Ryo, but the ball was now on his left side, as Isagi would only smile, remembering the words of ego, creating formula for goals, as in this very moment, he discovers his own. Isagi performs a left-footed ignite shot, shocking everyone on the pitch, especially Kunigami. Isagi's own aura could be seen as he truly has entered the world of prodigies. This match against Team V was what the push that he truly needed. However, in this match, it was just far from over as the score was only 1-1. Nagi then turns to Ryo. That was pretty cool. Let me try it, Ryo. Of course, Nagi. The next possession, Ryo gives the ball to Nagi, who tries to replicate Isagi's movements. However, he found out that it was not that simple. That unique style of dribbling was something only that Isagi could do because he's built up his body to do so. This leads to the ball being stolen from Nagi by Yoichi, who sends it into open space for Chigiri. Zantetsu and our red-headed speed demon race for the ball, as Chigiri shows off his top speed and gets to it first. This is where it's sent to the center for Kunigami, who scores. The two of them high-five in excitement as now Team Z was leading. Ryo was actually becoming angry that Nagi wasn't able to score his usual goals. Not only that, but Zantetsu was becoming useless, as Team Z was nothing like they had ever imagined before. Even though they were supposed to be one of the worst teams, in Blue Lock they played almost equal to their own level. Team V resets at the top of the field as Ryo gets the ball. How annoying. Don't you guys think? Let's take them seriously since they commanded our attention. Ryo gives the ball to one of their nameless teammates, as he then performs a 1-2 pass with him. This is where he gets through the midfield, and he floats the ball to Nagi, who jumped for it. Team Z's defenders jumped with him, not expecting him to score at all. But this is when something happens. He thinks of Isagi and how he scored an incredible shot, as now the score would be tied because of Nagi's move. Isagi then thinks to himself, I guess I wasn't the only person to evolve in this match. Isagi and Nagi locked eyes. Show me more amazing things, Isagi. Whatever, you prodigy, just stay out of my way. Isagi gives the ball back to Bachira, who begins smiling. So this is going to be harder than we thought. Yeah. The score was now 2-2, and the time was actually winding down pretty quickly, as this led Team Z to going into an all-out offense attack. Bachira is the one to lead them down the field. All of you guys are just in the way. He continues to dribble around all of them with his monster leading him right to another goal that's only scored by him, a solo play. Nagi and Ryo begin to try hard as well, as we see Nagi resetting the ball with great speed, and he passes it back to Ryo, who floats the ball for him. Nagi is the one who traps and performs dribble moves, which shocks everyone. Kunigami begins guarding him. Oh, you again. Sorry, but that won't work here. Kunigami tries to cut off the angle for a shot, but he's completely devoured by Nagi's dribble moves. He then gets through most of Team Z and passes to Zantetsu, who was in enough open space, as he goes for a pass sending it right over the head of Nagi to Ryo. He lifts his head immediately, looking for the pass, however it's stolen by Isagi. You're not even a real striker, so move. Isagi dribbles forward, with Ryo chasing after him, and some of Team V's players crashing in on him as well. Isagi feints to the left before dragging the ball to his right, performing multiple step-overs to get by. As he becomes surrounded, he lowers his head, and then bursts it out with speed. Ryo is still next to him, and reached out for the ball. However, Isagi threw Ryo to the ground with his own body weight. Still, the clock only had a few seconds left, and Isagi was too far from the goal. He then steps forward, and flicks the ball into the ground, giving it a small amount of airtime with the lift. Isagi then slams his right foot into the ball, going for the goal, but it hits the corner post and goes out of bounds. As this concludes the match, Isagi scoffs, as he wasn't able to perform the shot yet, but that's the closest he's gotten. Ryo, while on the ground, looks up to Isagi, as he doesn't even know what to make of him. He came out of nowhere just once again and almost scored some sort of wonder goal with ease. That shot just now, what was it? Isagi turns to Ryo with a disgusted look upon his face. Just a fluke, that's all. After this match is when we see the members of the team going through a hellish training. But this time, it was different. During the beginning of the first selection, Isagi was at the bottom of the group, as of his physical stats or far below the average player. But as of now, he began leading them, as he had no problem doing this training at all, and he constantly pushed himself to do even more. Soon they had to leave this wing that they were currently residing in, as Isagi walks down this large hall with Team Z to an area full of players, as Jinpachi Ego appears to them on the screen once again. Hello there, you lumps of talents. Good job on passing the first selection. As you can see, a lot of you are somehow on the same letter team. Ego then goes on to explain his reasoning for doing so, as it's to create a goal-hungry environment for them. Now then, let's begin Blue Lock's second selection. Ego explains how the first selection worked, and how they will eventually be placed into training camps under different people. He then vanished from the screen, leaving them to their own devices. Isagi then walks forward through the crowd of chatter and picks up a ball. He flicks it around and juggles it for a bit, before watching someone else do the same. We then see Ren kick both of the balls he had into the air, as they would curve and hit each other, but the third ball also hits them, getting the attention of Ren. He then looks around for the player that did so, but can only see the closing doors, as Isagi walks through the large hallway and thinks to himself, "An individual test, huh? Good, that means I'll be able to perfect that shot." Isagi walks into another open area as it was a pitch, as he sees a goal and then a goalkeeper appears. Pretty fancy, Ego. You really shouldn't have. The time limit and goal amount then appears on the screen, as Isagi smirks. 100 goals? Is all I need? A ball comes out from the wall, sending it towards Isagi, who traps it with ease and scores his first shot. Alright then, let's get a little more creative here. I'll score 100 goals in 100 different ways. Isagi then begins to push his mind into overdrive, as well as his vision, as he begins trapping and shooting like Nagi. He shoots in uncomfortable positions, as here he does a lot of left foot shots as well. Isagi spends a lot of the remaining time that he has dribbling in this small area, working on his control over the ball and his quick moves, as after scoring his last goal, Isagi closes his fists. Good. I feel even better than before. He walks out to see all the others who have already passed. The first person to walk up to him was Bachira, of course. It looks like he made it just in time. How about we form a team? Yeah, why not? The two look around for a third teammate, when Nagi and Rio walk up to them. Hey Isagi, join our team. I'm paired up with Bachira. Man, that sucks. Alright Nagi, let's wait for Zantetsu. No. What's wrong? Do you have someone else in mind? Yeah. Isagi, let me join your team. Rio is completely shocked by this, asking Nagi why would he want to leave him. Rio, we lost playing our version of football, as it wasn't enough. So I want to learn a new version of football, playing with Isagi. Fine, go with him. Rio lowers his head and then walks off, as the group of three now walks through a hall into a different room, where they see the top 3 ranked players, Ren, Aryu, and Tokimitsu. Ego now appears on the screen, telling them how this selection works as well, as after listening, Isagi decided to challenge Ren here and now. If we're able to win this, I can have one of the best players on my team, and I can learn from him head on. They suit up and head to the field where Ren's team was wearing red and Isagi's team was wearing white. Bachira starts with the ball and gives it to Nagi. He dribbled forward with Aryu stayed with him. Nagi flicks the ball up and controls it to get around his opponent who would compliment him. He then kicks it back to Bachira, who dribbles right around Tokimitsu and scores the first goal. However, during this whole play, Isagi and Ren stood at half. Each of them could sense there was something off and mysterious about the other. Ren then got the ball once again and shot it from half as it curves right into the goal. Isagi then turns back to him. Pretty impressive. Bachira then gives the ball to Isagi, who dribbles forward. Ren goes to guard him, only for Isagi to have a quick burst in speed. Still, he isn't fast enough for Ren not to catch up with him, but even Ren couldn't prepare for what happened next. Isagi cut to the right side and bounced the ball into the ground, as Bachira knows exactly what Isagi was trying to do. He swings his leg into the ball as he scores from a great distance. This was his brand new weapon, the Ignite Shot Kai, which is basically a more powerful version of his original Ignite Shot, but can only be performed due to him bouncing the ball on the ground first, as he doesn't have enough power just yet to do it at will. Isagi turns back with a smile, saying he's not the only one with a power shot. Rin then scoffs, but still calls him lukewarm. He gets the ball and dribbles towards Isagi. Instead, Nagi and Bachira step in. "Out of my way, you peasants." Rin maneuvers around them with little to no effort at all, but as he goes to shoot, Isagi steals it from him. "Wait a minute. Where did you come from?" Rin has no time to react as Isagi sends it right up to Nagi, who was already in the box. He traps it and then realizes that this pass was much different from the ones that Ryo sends him. This pass felt more perfect than anything, as Nagi scores, telling Isagi that the pass was perfect. This angered Rin, as this duo reminded him of how him and his brother used to be. This made him want to crush them even more. Rin goes to shoot once again, but Nagi is able to deflect it. However, Ryu jumps into the air, getting a rebound header into the net. Another stylish goal for me. The score was now 3-2, with Isagi's team in the lead. They just needed 2 more goals and this could all be over. Rin sets up the ball again as he wipes some of the sweat from his face. "All of you are truly boring me." He dashes forward on his own, but as soon as he runs towards Isagi, he turns his back, stopping the ball as he uses his body to guard it from Isagi. He then passes it back to Tokimitsu, who just holds it, not knowing what to do. In an instant, Bachira steals it from him, but can't actually lose him. Tokimitsu stays with him no matter what he does or what moves he tries to pull out. He then steals it back, and then goes for goal, but Nagi is able to contest him only for seconds later to be pushed off by strength. What is that guy made of? He then goes on to score, getting the game back to tying, as Isagi then has the ball at his own feet. I need even more. There's only one way for us to win. I have to beat Rin here and now. Isagi dashes forward with the ball, and Rin locks eyes with him. Isagi does quick step overs to evade Rin's legs, flicking out as he then tries to get by him. Isagi goes to pass, but it's stopped by Rin, who pushes him off the ball instantly as the prodigy goes to score on, with no difficulty at all. "Come on, get up. You see that the game isn't over." "Yeah, you're right." Isagi gives the ball to Nagi, who begins to head forward to try to score on his own, but isn't able to, as this is when they lose the match. Rin looks at all of them and decides to take Bachira, causing Isagi to slam his hands to the ground. Isagi and Nagi go back to a main lobby, where they have to match against those who have already lost as well. This is when Isagi runs into Naruhaya, who has Barou on his team surprisingly. Instantly, Isagi decides that these two will match against each other, as he wants Barou on his team to defeat Rin. Isagi begins preparing by training with Nagi, as the two of them are almost equal. Nagi is just a bloodborne prodigy, but any time that Isagi makes a discovery, it benefits Nagi, who grows with him, as during their training Isagi begins to discover the reason why he couldn't pass by Rin with ease. His eyes could see through all of his movements, whether they were predictable or not. Rin was able to react and defend. His field of view was extraordinary, as this is when it truly hits Isagi on what he needs to work on. A couple days go by as now the match could finally happen. Naruhaya passes it to Barou, who tries to run through Nagi, but is double teamed by Isagi. They steal the ball and Nagi runs up ahead. Naruhaya is able to get in front of Isagi and states how he knows all of his moves. Isagi then rushes in and does an elastico, getting around Naruhaya with ease. Isagi then goes to the right with his ignite shot Kai, but faints as Naruhaya's leg is seen passing by. Wait, there's no way he could predict that attack. We then see Isagi's eyes to see that his vision was slowly evolving game by game, piece by piece. That's right, focus on everything all at once and find the best possible goal. Isagi then scores the first goal, declaring that they won't lose again. Nagi tells him that his aim is increased and Isagi nods. Good, that means we have a chance to take down this tyrant king. Barou becomes agitated and refuses to pass to Naruhaya and gets the ball stolen once again, as Nagi gets his own goal here. His teammate tries to argue with him, but Barou calls him useless and continues on to play, not passing. Isagi and Nagi take advantage of this time after time, as Isagi now dribbles forward, this time with Barou and Naruhaya guarding him. Isagi shocks everyone by copying what Rin did by turning his back to them to shield the ball and flicking it over his own head, giving a perfect pass for Nagi as he traps it midair and scores an incredible shot. Good pass, Isagi. Truly, there isn't much for us to go over in this match, as it's dominated by the two of them, and they of course choose Barou to go with them. Come and dance for me, you tyrant king. The three of them then return to the original selection room to see the teams were still there in the waiting area to try and find a match, but there weren't any players who they wanted. So instead, Isagi and Nagi go to train, but here, Isagi isn't training with the ball. He's in the weight room and Nagi decides to lay down and watch while playing a video game on his phone. I didn't know you wanted to be a musclehead, Isagi. Yeah, you could say that. Nagi then points out how even though he was shorter, he was able to push off most defenders from the ball. Isagi then nods while bench pressing. He racks the weight and then sits up. Yeah, I mean I want to be one of the best strikers not only in my skill but also my body. Nagi then nods. Seems like a bother. Whatever, I don't have some God-given talent like you do, so I'll keep working my ass off to get better. Nagi then turns his head, while laying on the benches, to see Ryo standing there. Oh, hey Ryo. I've come to take you back, Nagi. Is that so? Kunigami and Shigiri then walk in as well, greeting Isagi. So you three want to take me down? If you really want this lazy prodigy, come take him from me. Ryo then nods as their match is declared here and now. Nagi and Isagi try to train with Barou, but the king doesn't want any part of it at all. However, Isagi doesn't seem to be worried, as he has a plan for this. They do get some time to train before their match, as this is when Isagi finally discovers one of his final weapons. One that he's able to do it, or once he's able to, he'll be able to defeat Rin. This is it. This is how we're going to beat him. The next day, the two teams meet onto the pitch, with Barou stating that he's going to start with the ball. He does, and he dribbles forward, having Kunigami guard him, but the hero isn't enough, as Baru's able to score immediately, and Isagi tells him to calm down. It was lucky you scored that easy. Don't expect a shot like that to come again. What did you tell me, you little shit? Barou then goes to grab Isagi, but the blue-haired protagonist walks off and gets ready. Ryo passes to Chigiri, who runs down the sidelines. Isagi is able to run with him only for Chigiri to smile. You know you can't catch me. Chigiri sprints forward, but Isagi runs at an angle which gives him enough space to cut him off. He then steals the ball and passes it right to Nagi. He receives it with Ryo now guarding him. So who can pass better, me or Isagi? Tell me something, Ryo. Have you ever seen me be able to do this after getting a pass from you? Nagi performs extraordinary moves one after the other to get around Ryo and looks towards goal. He passes to the center for Barou, who goes to strike the ball. Kunigami blocks off the path, however both of them then realize that it's stolen by Isagi, who lifts it with his heel, as this is when he performs a left-footed shot, giving their team their second goal. Hey loser, that was my goal. Didn't look like it. What are you talking about? That pass was clearly to me. Are you really that stupid to realize that I was there before you, you peasant? The teams then reset, with Ryo having to make another game plan. There's no way they could just trade goals with this team, because they were too good. Kunigami starts with the ball, and gives it back to Ryo. Isagi runs to him, guarding him, and cutting off his field of vision by blocking the pathway that he wanted to take. Ryo then rolls the ball back and crosses it to the right, to Chigiri. Nagi then jumps in front, controlling the pass and sending it right back to the other side. Ryo then looks back in front of him, realizing that Isagi wasn't there anymore. He then turns his head, seeing Isagi trap the ball in air, like Nagi, before scoring a quick volley, as now they only need 2 more goals to win this match. Barou looks at Isagi and Nagi, realizing that the two of them are using him to score goals. He was a pawn in all of their plays, as immediately he was discarded once he served his purpose to them. He couldn't allow this. He couldn't allow lesser players to use him like this. So in the next play, he stole the ball from Chigiri, and he awakened. He performed quick lightning dribbles that ripped through the pitch in his anger. This all led to him scoring another goal, making them be at match point. All they needed was 1 more goal, as Kunigami and Chigiri were completely shocked that Isagi had become so good in the last time that they saw him. Just what happened in those few days that they weren't together? Team Rio would try to score once again, but the ball is blocked by Barou, as it then pops out to Isagi, who controls it. Kunigami and Chigiri double team him in order to not let him get past and get a pass to Nagi. It was nothing but focused on Isagi's eyes, as he had this intense aura around him. I wanted to save this move for when I face Ren again, but I'll let you get a glimpse of it, as all we would get to see is Nagi score off the pass from Isagi, who performed this incredible move. They won the game, and Isagi looked down at Chigiri and Kunigami. Just you wait, Ren. I'm coming to defeat you.